Hello, welcome everyone today to the Tampa Live podcast, right here live from you from Tampa Bay, Florida. You know, Joe Flores, I have Tyler Wynn at the Blue Gray Studios today. You know, thank you guys for enjoying and joining us online. And we also have a special guest, Tampa Bay tax professional and insurance professional, my wife, Anna Lamb. She's here today.
Hi.
And then we also have a super special guest today. Our straight rock stars in the building today. But this one here is a leader in the Filipino Asian community. He's the GOAT of Tampa, and this is why we have the Tom Brady behind him. We have one of the co-founders of the Philippine Cultural Center over there, located in the West Chase area of Tampa Bay. His name is Joey Omila. So thank you, Joey, for joining us today. We really appreciate you taking your time out to spend with us.
Thank you, Joe. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning, Anna.
Good morning.
Yeah, Joey's a loud and bright person, a straight stand-up guy. You put him in any room, he's going to shine like a star. So we're very happy that he's here with us, and we're going to be getting into the story of more about the Philippine Cultural Center. How was this even, created and founded? What events are coming along within the Tampa Bay, if that's something you're interested in and want to keep up to date with what is going on in that Philippine Asian culture and community. Hopefully you'll learn something today. But, we do have Tyler Wynn, Blue Gray Mortgage. Listen, it's been a rough week in the real estate world.
Yeah.
And just, it's just because big news yesterday happened. Feds did announcements yesterday.
Yeah.
Can you kind of help explain to us what does that mean for us in the real estate market of Tampa Bay? Of with the Fed's decision yesterday? I believe that they lowered rates.
Yeah, so yesterday they did, as expected, they dropped it a quarter. And then I think what happened was the comments afterwards, right? It's always the comments afterwards what they say. So it was a hawkish comment that they stated because projections of 2025, they wanted to drop it 1%. But now they said, you know what, we're going to push back on that. We're going to just do 0.5%. So once that came out of light, it was just like, whoa, a roller coaster of rates going up.
So that's probably like 2 drops of a quarter and a quarter in a whole 12-month span.
Yeah. And again, nothing's ever, guaranteed or set in stone. It's just the way the market works. It's the up and down game. And, but that's what the projection is for so far. So that's forecasted.
And so even though they dropped rates, which everyone wanted them to drop rates a little bit, but because of the comments after, it triggered an emotion, I guess, to say, oh, man, like next year's not going to be as good as we thought it was going to be as for rates, right?
Exactly what happened. And, again, I think in Tampa market is just one of those unique markets that people are still coming here and transitioning. So I think talking to a lot of clients this past couple of weeks, we see a lot of people are like, I'm tired of waiting on just tired of waiting. There's no really movement in the past 2 or 3 years. It is what it is. So let's just do it. So
move forward and purchase that property. I think it's still a good time for buyers because when you're in a market like this, sellers are motivated. They want to move forward. So 100%. It's really a good time to come to negotiations and an agreement that might be good for both parties.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so sometimes, make sure you're working with a professional that can help guide of ways to make a real good deal happen for all parties, right? So
just like everything's negotiable. So.
Yeah, if they drop the interest rates to 3% right now, good luck first time home buyer, right? Because the big boys are going to come in and really try to buy everything out and make it hard for the first time home buyers. So what's happening, they're doing it for a reason, I think, to make it fair for everyone. I think should be their goal.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, last year they were like, the interest rates were going to drop this year. Yeah. They ended up going higher. Yeah. So I like when they say, we're going to go, we're not going to drop the rates as much next year, AKA means maybe it's going to go vice versa. So we'll wait and see for 2025, and we'll keep you guys updated with what's going on. But, today I wanted to make it a real special episode because we have someone that we really respect in the community. Everyone loves some Filipino food and the Philippine culture.
We do.
And the Asian foods. And come on, we can't get enough of it. Yeah. And so there's a center in West Chase, Tampa area that was created. And to me, it's like a compound is how I look at it from, and I see nothing but big events and big gatherings and family-orientated style events happening. And it was such a plus for the Asian community to be able to use this Philippine Cultural Center to use for events. I think there's a Vietnamese New Year's event coming,
Yes,
or
in
Christmas party
January.
in January.
Vietnamese New Year's in January.
Yep.
That happens around.
End
So,
of January.
yeah, end of January.
Yep.
January 26th.
Yep.
Yeah, great. And so that's a great event for if people are looking where to celebrate their New Year's event.
100%.
They might want to look into the Philippine Cultural Center around the Chinese Lunar Vietnamese New Year time. And so we have the original founder for this place. And it's just an epic story that we want to get into and how that even created. But Joey Omila, please let us know a little bit more about yourself and you and what you represent for the Tampa Bay community.
Sure, Joe. But first of all, good morning to everyone. Tyler, good morning. And
Morning.
anyway, I'm very honored that you invited me here to share the excitement of how we started a Philippine Cultural Foundation, which we call in short PCFI. But anyway, yes, to start about me, to make a long story short, I was born in the Philippines, down south in the island of Mindanao. I'm one of the 10 siblings, and I'm number 5, 8 left now. There are 3 boys, and then all the rest are ladies or girls. But anyway, and then I went.
Do they call you by your name or do they call you by number 5?
You
saw
by
get a
the
certain
name,
amount of-
yeah. When I was-
right,
Vietnam,
When I
yeah.
was younger, they called me Little, because I was the smallest, the shortest from my siblings, which are taller.
Yeah.
But then later, when I grew up, I was the tallest and all that. So my nickname when I was young was Little.
Isn't that funny how the Asian community, they always call you
Yeah.
whatever, and then you're
Exactly.
you're
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
just
how
like
it
in the
is.
Vietnamese
Yeah.
community.
Then-
they
Put some
go-
respect
they go
on
by
my name,
numbers.
no,
Right. So of course nobody could call me Little anymore when I was in college.
It's Big Joe. Okay,
So
Big Joey.
it changed, and somebody started it by calling me Joey because my real name is Jose, but the real Filipino traditional name is, all of us Filipinos have 3 names. So I'm Jose Maria. My mom is German, so Jose Maria Horchman Omila.
wow.
Omila is Filipino, my dad.
Okay.
And there, I was born. I graduated college. I'm with a master's in Bachelor of Arts and major in graphics. At that time, everything about advertising, we use our hands and draw, and then submit.
Yeah.
Nowadays, everything is on a computer, and that's cheating.
It is.
It is.
It is.
A real artist really can draw. You have your idea, you draw it,
Yeah.
and if you're a bad drawer, you're finished. And that's how it was. But now, wow. But anyway, I graduated. Right after I graduated, I auditioned for the National Dance Company, folkloric, called Bayanihan, which happens to be the name of our center. Yeah, Bayanihan means working together. So appropriate. Bayanihan Dance Company became an international the first Asian touring company that went around the world performing, because the Philippine dances it sets a variety that it is entertaining.
Right.
Comparing it to Japanese and all that, beautiful as they are. I mean, to watch a Japanese opera is 4 hours. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
If you don't like. But anyway, Philippines is really, really full variety. So I was excited. I auditioned and I passed.
That's awesome.
So after graduation, I didn't work. So because I was so excited to see the world. So I traveled around the world for about 7 years, 8 years.
Wow.
And then somewhere along the line, I was in the Philippines on vacation. I was staying in the same hotel with a VIP was arriving. So I knew the manager and the maitre d' and the food and beverage manager. So they said, "Hey, Joey, come on here. Have a look at this." He arrives with ladies in waiting, security. I said, "Who the hell is this person?"
Ladies in waiting and
I said,
security.
"Oh, it's
I like that line.
Isn't it you live?" Because after my dancing days, I live in Germany with some friends of mine, German friend, and I studied German because I wanted to communicate with my cousins that was in Bavaria. And
Do you
I was
speak
in
German, by the
Philip-
way? Do you speak German too?
Yeah, I
That's
speak German.
amazing.
Yeah,
Okay, nobody
Not
knew
as
that.
good
see?
as a German though, but
Right.
oh yes, I can converse.
Ah, I love it.
But that's what it was. So I was on vacation, and he was staying in the same hotel, the Mandarin, which has now been abolished or, well, taken down. And anyway, so that's the first time I heard about the name Krupp. So that's another story of my life. But anyway, I got hired as a private secretary, traveling secretary, because he had the Lord Chamberlain, he had 3 security, and then he had 2 ladies in waiting, 4 butlers, and 1 chef.
Now, when you were hired, was it in the Philippines? Or
In
it
the
was
Philippines. So I was
How
in
did you get
those-
it though? How did you get the job? Like, what was?
Oh,
the-
you have to look. We have to wait for my book.
Joey Omila's
That
book
would be
comes
another
soon.
chapter of our podcast.
Yes, sir.
No, it is interesting.
Yeah.
And people have been asking me, the friends of mine, before and after, have been asking me, Joey, you need to tell us how you got your job. That's the first, most
Yes.
famous question.
Yes.
And I said, sure, I'll tell you all. So to make a long story short, so I was in the hotel, so I saw this whole arrival, which is, I mean, I've never seen in my life, like 100 suitcases and so forth. And so that he stayed at the presidential suite, of course. And then I found out that he was there to visit a friend who was the food and beverage manager, who was German. And he was the one who said, Joey, come have a look at this because it's so interesting.
Oh, nice.
2 days later, he said, Joey, he wants to have dinner at our French restaurant, L'Hirondelle, I remember, Mandarin. And he wants interesting people. So I think you'll be interesting enough. Would you like? I said, are you kidding? Of course. I'm coming.
That's
So
awesome.
that's it. In that table, I was only 3 days in the Philippines. Nobody knew I was in town.
Right.
And I had my own popularity in the Philippines because I perform in the theater, perform in some Broadways and so forth, dancer, singer. Wow. But anyway, there you go. And also in our tour, on a much later tour, I was with Mrs. Marcus Group. So we went around the world and with a group called Fiesta Filipina. This one now was not totally dancers. These were fashion models. So we had all the most beautiful and spectacular models from the Philippines with dancers. And then we presented it as a show to promote the Philippines. And we had Miss Universe with us and all that. So we traveled with all
Is
our...
this around like 1980, 78?
78, 75, like that, I think. 75, 76, about that.
Wow.
Yeah,
So, what was your journey to Florida? I mean, my parents, they came from Vietnam, and then they went on a boat to the Philippines.
Wow.
So they stayed in the Philippines for maybe like a few years.
Yes.
And then they traveled to the U.S.
Wow, yeah.
One went to California, and then the other went to Florida.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, similar. There's so many that we know. In the API, or the Asian Pacific Islander Advisory Council, we have Anne, who has the similar
yes,
story.
she does.
And they stayed also in the island. They stayed in Iloilo, some
Yeah,
small
because
islands.
it's so
But-
close to Vietnam.
Yeah, yeah.
So they
Philippines is very
traveled by
open
boat.
to all the Vietnamese boat people. Yeah. Fascinating, isn't it? So anyway, what sent me here was another. To make a long story short, I met the Baron that evening in the dinner. He was fascinated. I was very far. There was a table of 10. I was around here. The Baron was there. Lord Chamberlain was next to him. We had Miss Universe Gloria Diaz here. We had another lady, a designer, Aureo Alonso, and so forth, and 2 other people, and the GM. And then he said, who's that guy? And of course, this GM said, oh, no, that's Joey. He speaks German. He's here on vacation. He's in Dusseldorf. And the Krupp Empire is right close to Dusseldorf, called Essen. That's where the factory is.
Yeah.
I had no idea who was Krupp. And so the Lord Chamberlain stood up after dinner and he said, he wants to sit with you, so you better go to there. I will move here. The Lord, I said, what does he need? He wants to talk to you. Oh, so I didn't know my protocol. I didn't know what royal protocols are. I said,
Right.
shit, do I say no? Do I say no? So I said, sure. So I went there. I was so stiff. And then he started talking to me. That very evening, I was hired. But I said, I can't answer you. I'm only here 2 days. I haven't even seen my parents.
Yeah, that's
He
hilarious.
said, I'll give you until lunch tomorrow to decide.
Wow.
That was crazy.
Quick
But anyway.
hire.
Pulling up to the airport with 100 suitcases. and,
Yeah, I
and-
was thinking about everything. What is my role? He has this whole entourage.
Right.
Why am I being hired? I said, because he was also gay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Am I the luggage boy? I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, I said, a kept boy? I said,
Yeah.
everything was going into my mind.
Right.
And so I went to see my parents that very evening. I said, Mom, Dad, I'm here, blah, blah. Hi, Joey. And they're all excited. And I said, I'll see you in all. But I said, do I tell them? What do they know if I tell them, who the hell are you talking about? Do I need permission from you? So I just told them, Mom, I think I got a job in this. And life will be better for you and my dad. And that's how it started. So.
That's crazy. Can you give them a lot of people don't know who Iron Cook is.
Yeah.
Can you share a story? about
If
it?
you research in Google or on YouTube, there's a lot of movies. Arndt Krupp is ARNDT, that's a German name. Krupp was the heir to the Krupp Steel Empire.
There you go.
They were known around the world.
Yeah.
the Krupp GmbH, which is known for steel. The origin, and strangely enough, the very first Krupp was Dutch. He was Kroop, Kroop. He migrated to Germany when Germany was still part of the Prussian Empire. So Holland was the Netherlands. So he migrated to Essen, and he founded, or whatever, mined a steel that cannot be penetrated by bullets. But it was known, the steel was known for everything you could think of, even from dentures. You know, they have the gold and those steel that cannot break, cannot be. They did all that, and then they build airports, big companies. They build villages and so forth. So the company was the biggest in the world. And then the Second World War hit. So this time Arndt was in private school, basically up in the mountain in Bavaria. It's a long story about his family. So his mother was living somewhere. After they got married, you see, the father of Arndt, Alfred, was the heir of Bertha. Bertha Krupp was the grandmother, who was the firstborn. Because when the Prussian emperor in the old days, he said, because the Krupp company built the whole railway of Prussia, which means Germany, all those, Russia and all that, and Austria and so forth. So the emperor gave a gift to the Krupp family. For all your firstborn, I give you the title of the Baron. The Baron is basically part of the royal line, but it's the lowest because it's not inherited, it's not born, it's given by the emperor. So that's how it was. And so in his life, grandmama Bertha was the heir. So Bertha during that time was the big guy. Then Bertha died, and then he inherited. But Arndt was about 5 years old. And then when Bertha died, the grandmother, he was 15 years old. And then he inherited his first million. So 100, something like 100 or 20 million, I think, or 15 million.
At 15.
Right, at age 15. And then anyway, then he was asked by the father, Alfred, to come to the Krupp company out of the boys' school and learn the company. Oh, he hated it because he was gay. So anyway, but he hated it. And he said, this is now from his own mouth, he saw his father didn't have a life because you're the head of the Krupp. You have to meet all these dignitaries, you have state visitors, you have clients that ready to sign paper. You're talking about big business. They built the Krupp company built the whole railway of Morocco. They built the whole railway and the trains of Thailand.
Wow.
Everything. So
Big
it was
business.
huge. It was international.
Yeah, it does. So
And then the father died. When the father died, he inherited everything, and it shocked the whole nation of Germany because he said, I don't want to have anything to do. So this is the deal. You give me 2 million a month for my lifestyle. I want to keep the castle in Austria, the castle in Germany, and I want to keep my yacht. I want to keep this. I want to build this. I want to have a house in Palm. Everything was to be paid for by the Krupp company. And that 2 million is just his appanage, which is just how do you call that? Allowance. Nothing to do with the maintenance of the building. That was added.
Wow.
So as years grew up, I come in, he was already receiving 30 million a year. So that's a lot. But anyway, so it shocked the whole nation. So he was branded by the Germans as stupid, crazy, big queen and all that, everything, right? Nothing to do with me, right?
Yeah.
So he was a party guy. So everybody wanted to marry him. He was the best single bachelor millionaire,
Riches.
gay. Everybody wanted to marry. Sophia Loren tried. Gina Lollobrigida. This is before you were born.
Yeah.
Gina Lollobrigida. Everybody wanted to. So you have pictures. You have books. If you try to get in the library, The Arms of Krupp. Okay, it tells
I've
about.
seen the name for sure.
Right,
I know
The Arms
for
of
sure.
Krupp.
Yep.
That is the closest. But then because I read the book before I got the job, I was reading it in the plane. Who the hell is Krupp? Then later I asked him, did you really do this? Did you? He said, oh, Joey, that is the closest to the story of our lives, the Krupp. But he said it's all nonsense because the writer, William Manchester, was never allowed to meet the Crook family. So he just presumed. And then he used quote word. He said, nonsense. So I said, oh, so terrible. But it's fascinating, the book, but it's not real.
It was like this is the true story. It's 10x.
Right.
But so and that's what positioned you to end up making your rounds to, because at this point you're in the Philippines and Germany, and not
Right.
even made it to the U.S. at this
Right.
point in time.
Well, aside from traveling, being a dancer, in between, because I was good in being MC, I was good meeting the press. In basically, I was a good spokesman for the
liaison,
So Mrs.
by
Marcos
heart, by natural.
Yeah, and then Roque Ablan, our senator, who handled the group, the Fiesta Philly, founded actually the group, and just said, Joey, you'd be good MC. So now I became an MC, introducing the whole group, Miss Universe and all that, wearing so and so. And then I was also quick changing dancing. So I was everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
So I saw the world. I saw everything.
The
So
one-man band, Joey Omila.
Seriously.
So now I'm with the Baron, and I had to learn protocol. And then I learned that she was married to a princess. Jesus Christ. I said, what am I going to do with my life now? I never dream of this thing. So, to cut a long story short, after I was hired, within a week, he said, we're leaving in a week. I said, we're leaving where? I said, Paris. Oh. Well, I said, I need a visa. I still have my Philippine passport. They said, oh, no, the Lord Chamberlain takes care of that, and so forth. And then he said, the Lord Chamberlain will be going to your room. I remember that. What does he have to go to my room to inspect all your clothes and everything?
Wow.
That was the end I ever
there you
saw
go.
my clothes. All gone,
Wow.
taken. He came up and he said, not approved, sir. Oh, the Baron said, that's great. I love it. He was like a little boy. He said, now we go shopping. This was too fast for me. You get hired. I didn't know how much salary I was receiving. I didn't know.
You didn't know what you were doing.
And then he said, you've been to Paris? I said, yes. I've been to Paris 4 times. And so he said, oh, like a little boy. Oh. I thought I would impress you, Paris. But I said, no, I'm excited. I'm going to Paris.
That's crazy.
And then we shopped, and that's it. So we went to different nice shops in Makati and all that. Suits, underpants, everything, by the dozens, all that.
Wow.
That very evening. And my watch, I had a Timex watch, which traveled with me around the world. My Timex, that has to go. And that very day, he bought me a Rolex. Yeah, at that time, 9,000 for, I don't know how much it is.
Crazy. Wow.
So that was for anybody like me I was not looking at, I'm going to tell all my friends this. I was just saying, this is too fast. So what have I done, Lord, that I'm getting all this and excitement and scared and everything and identity. What am I in the entourage? Hello.
The chosen one, Joey Omila.
He really was.
So anyway, I worked for him for 8 years, I think, until he died in 86 of cancer of the lymph node. And probably because he had too good life at the age of 15.
Definitely.
Yeah, smoking and drinking.
Eating good
And
food.
he starts early in the morning, during my time. And what was funny, after I worked, after 2 years, I stopped his drinking. I stopped his everything. I ordered non-alcoholic beverages in Australia. Australia was the first country who did non-alcoholic champagne, white wine. I used to import them to the yacht and all that.
Wow.
And the princess loved me then after that because he was straight. He was not anymore crazy.
Yeah.
But anyways, so he died of lymph node cancer, 47. So after the funeral, I didn't exist in the company. Yeah. So, but the company took care of me. But I went here. But that time already, I had the house in Zephyr Hills.
Florida.
For my parents in Zephyr Hills.
Been
And
buying real estate in Tampa Bay since the 70s. Come on, let's go.
It is an acre and a half.
Oh yeah.
And I stayed there and adjusted like 2 years. And after 2 years, I said, I've got to work. And so my parents said, why don't you just relax, have enough money in the bank? I said, no, I have to work. I can't stay at home watching TV. As much as I love you, Mom, Dad, but I have to work. So I went around executive offices. I saw one, hires only for executives, and we place you. I never got the job.
Whoa. That's
Because
wild.
I didn't know America, you need to know who I worked for before. Now, put yourself in me. What do you mean? I need to write down. Yeah, we need referrals. That was the word,
Oh my
referrals.
gosh, yes.
So I went to the Hyatt on Causeway. Was just opening. I said, "Oh, I'm gonna apply there." First, the executive offices. I remember the office was somewhere in West Shore. They're like this. They were interviewing me because we have to. I said, "What are you good in?" I said, "Good in organization. This I speak German. All that maybe. Oh, great. Referrals." So I said, I cannot give you referral. They said, "We need to have referral." Who you?
Yeah.
Okay, so I gave you. So Her Royal Highness Princess Henrietta.
Oh my God. They're
You
like,
know,
is
this
this
is
a joke?
Crazy.
Is this
the
a
Krupp
joke?
company, the head of the Krupp company, and all that. They look at it. They say, "We'll let you know." So of course, they're typical American. They're scared that you're going to take over their position.
Right.
So I never got the job. The same in the hotels. I said, "Look, I'll be good. I don't care. I'll be in the reception,
Overqualified
in the
referrals.
front desk."
They don't know you really just trying to get out the house and be
Yeah.
like in the world,
They said,
right?
"Mr. Omila, you're so overqualified." So I got so pissed. And so I opened my own company. So I opened Passport Travel Management. So I got contract from all the airlines and all that. So make a long story short, so I had my company until internet came. When internet came, I closed the company. I had 30 employees,
Wow.
and 13 employees, not 30.
Yeah.
And so I just said, I'm not going to compete with internet. You know, people call you. We dealt only with travel agency. So travel to Asia and Europe and all that. I mean, these are group travel, customized. So we get calls from agencies who have the judge and his wife, where they want to see Europe in the very, very high class. So we start doing all that. So I got to travel again. So it was I enjoyed it. Because in order to sell your hotel, I have to see your hotel and then make a report. And I might use you, I might not use you. So I was traveling most of the time. Then I closed the company.
And then, in order for me to sell your hotel, I need to see your hotel.
Exactly. That's
Send that jet to the backyard.
And that's how the
awesome.
first time I met the Filipinos. Because Filipinos would then know. I remember the first Filipino I met here was in church. And I was only, probably 6 months. So I go to church, and there were a lot of Filipinos. That one in St. Paul on Dale Mabry. And they look at me like that. They were not sure because I had a top coat. It was winter time, so you have your top coat and white gloves. And so they said, "Who is this freak wearing white gloves in Florida?" I didn't know how to dress. That's how I knew because
That's all you knew. Yeah.
So anyway, even now when they tell the story, they all
That's
laugh.
funny.
I said, "You nasty people." So anyway, later,
You're ahead of your time, you know?
Right, yeah.
In my job, I was not allowed to wear T-shirts, not allowed to wear rubber shoes. Everything was not allowed. So I dressed the way I want, but I adjusted accordingly. Tuxedos and all that. But anyway, that's then I met the Filipinos, and then I opened my agency. Filipinos would come, "Joey, we know you don't sell to the public, but can you help us?" Of course, I had the contract with Filipino Airlines, Cathay Pacific. So Filipinos started getting tickets. So I would help them.
Yeah.
Until one day, a Filipino guy who just migrated 10 years before from Chicago. He was an attorney from the Philippines, comes from Bicol, and we got to know him. And then, by then, after 3 years knowing the Filipinos, I produced the first gala show at this Performing Arts, Tampa Bay Performing Arts, which is now called Stress Center.
Oh,
Yeah, that was the first name of the center. So I involved all the children, adult teens, and then parents and all that, and put them on a 2-hour spectacular show at the theater. So you can imagine we have packed because it involved all. And they said, "Who is this guy?" Well, I was Bayanihan. Everybody knew. And then came the German crew.
They brought the
German
plug in.
crew.
He brought.
The German crew came and recorded even in the theater and then in my house interview of what I was doing now because I disappeared out of the earth,
Yeah.
when he died. They wanted to know what happened to me. So the German was they went to rehearsals and they went they filmed the theater and they talk about me. "What do you do now?" So I told them like what I just told you. It was hard for me to get any job and so forth. So that was it. So people would say, "Oh my God, we saw him on TV and so forth." And People magazine did an article, like a whole page of me who I work with. Yeah, and so
Wow,
forth.
so cool.
Famous.
Yeah, but I didn't know. So at this time, I was not known to the Philippine community.
Yeah.
You're becoming a new leader in Tampa Bay, though, to
Right.
be
So
at the
that's
performing
now
center.
this lawyer, Attorney Roello, is very, very nice. He said, Joey, you're too popular at the moment. It's so hot. Everybody, they buy tickets to go to one of their parties, organization parties, because you're the MC. So I want to use that popularity about this idea. So when he told me the idea, we will sit down with the existing organization, Filipino organization. At that time, there were 6. We'll sit down with them and we offer them. We don't accomplish anything if each of us has projects. Everybody wants to build a center.
Correct.
Or everybody wants to build a hall or something. So he said, we sit down with them. I said, are you sure? We might be laughing stuff to everyone. Yeah. He said, Joey, with your popularity, they will think twice. Because they say anything you get involved with becomes successful. Because I was good in organizing and presenting. And personality-wise, I was a friend to everyone. Whether you're high society or you're Filipino who's not part of the high society, I was loved.
Right.
They said that's what it. So I said, okay, let's do it. So at that time, he was working as one of the attorneys of the mayor, city of Tampa. Yeah, that was, who was it? The Cuban guy. Anyway, going back, about 86, 85. So Attorney Ruelo then sat down, and we had 6 organizations. We presented the idea. They all said, and what happens to our organization? You're going to be dissolved by the foundation? We said, no. You'll still be a member. You'll have privileges. Each of you will be permanent founding until you die. Well, they like that. Filipinos like to be popular. So anyway, so they said, okay, if we do it, what happens to our fund? So we said, we don't touch your fund. You just become a member. We just need your name. You're a board member, and so forth. Okay, everybody agreed. And so he said, now we need a president, a chairman. And said, okay, so it went this. I was the last. Nobody wanted to get. Everybody was skeptical. I said, no, not me.
Because you'd have to be a face and you'd have to be a speaker, kind of.
When it went towards me, then Attorney Royal said, Joey, if you say no, we have no foundation. So I said, what are you trying to say?
Yeah.
We need to have you as the first chairman. I mean, after 1 year, you can pass it on. I said, okay, I'll agree. And that's it. So we put $100 each, he said, in order to apply. It was first called the Title Holding Company. Because that was the thing. In order to own a property, you have to have a title holding. I suppose you know that. So anyway, I was the first chairman or president, as they called it. And we started the project. So we planned. So we had the festival. We used to do it at Al Lopez Park.
Yeah,
so
Lopez.
we would charge the vendors a fee and collect. But then people started putting donation because we started spreading the word that the title holding company plans to build a Philippine center, a buyer property. So can you help? No. Filipinos are known that I'm not going to believe these people. They're probably running away with our money. But then they use my name. I'm there and I would talk. Because if you donate and you help us, we plan to build this and build that, have our own property. You can have your picnic. And then organizations, you can have your pavilion. So forth, they're all eyes like that. And then we believe this guy. So donations coming in.
Yeah.
So we had it there like 3 years. So the money we raised, we started looking for property to buy. And then the different organizations said, that is not fair if you buy property for your convenience. It has to be convenience of all the 6 organizations.
And this around what year is this going on?
I was 86. This is 1991.
1991.
So we sat down with the city because he was an attorney of the mayor. The city surveillance said, okay, what's Chase? 9 Eagles Drive is the center. It's all 10 miles to Clearwater, 10 miles to this, 10 miles to Brandon, 10 miles. So nobody can complain. Dead center. They look at the project. They really did a strategic study. So we said, okay, let's all go. So we went there. It's boondock, it's wetland, rice field, not rice field, but field.
Right, yeah.
With cows eating. We said, Jesus Christ, how are we going to buy it? And they said, yeah. And the owner said, give me 5,000. I'll sell you 1 acre. 5,000. We said, wow, we can afford. How much money we have? 15,000. Can we buy 3 acres? The guy said, yeah, sure. Really boondock. I mean, we had to
Wow.
wear rubber
Yeah,
boots
right.
because we
It's
were
muddy.
sinking.
Uh-huh.
It was wetland. And there was nothing there, nothing in the corner of racetrack. There was nothing except
Racetrack in
forest.
Hillsborough, you're right.
Forest. And then at the end was Nine Eagles subdivision and golf subdivision.
They were built at this time around those years.
Right. No.
The Nine Eagles.
Oh yeah,
community
it was
that-
already there.
Right.
So it was a very secluded. That's why
Yeah.
the road going. The city said we can't do anything. That's it because everybody built already. So it's only 2 lanes forever, which is bad from our side. But anyway,
The traffic.
yeah. So we look at there. Of course, all the other organizations. Jesus, nobody will come here. This is a terrible place. Nobody knows how to find this place and all that. So we just say we have no choice. We can't afford 10,000, 15,000 per acre. So that's how it started. So we continued our festival yearly and then bought more and more. So we had 10 acres until we got more, donations.
Donations.
So we were holding and we missed by 2 days. We went to the owner. We said, we have another 10 acres, 20 acres. Wonderful. And he said, oh, you're late. West Chase just bought the whole 146
Oh,
acres.
Wow.
We said, what do you mean we're late? We told you we will buy more. But they said, yeah, why would I say no to somebody buying 146 acres? We lost. So that's it.
West
We were-
Chase, the city of West Chase.
Yes.
Wow.
Developers,
Yeah, you're right.
You have Water Chase behind us. Oh, it's all Chase.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Which
And
is
it's
a
a
great
good-
community that people don't know.
Yeah, it's a
One of
great
the
community.
desired
It's,
community.
it's a very high class, respected. So
Yeah.
we told the community, look, guys, it may look awful, but we're in the middle. The mansions will be built around us and so forth. Oh, the family, the whole Filipino community was not very happy.
Yeah.
They weren't visionaries at
Yeah.
the time,
Yeah.
huh?
And so we just said, wow, but we missed the 20 acres. So what are we going to do? If we be successful, do we have enough for parking? So forth, so forth. That was it. This was about 91, 92 now.
So
And
total
then-
acres 10.
Huh?
10 acres.
Yeah, we got 10 acres. And so we said, we sat down, what do we call it, Joe, and all that. So I said, Philippine Enrichment Complex. Why enrichment complex? Because we will tell the state, because now we're being ambitious, we're going to tell the state the Filipino community of Tampa Bay has a 10-acre property. Wow, that's blowout.
Yeah.
And we said it's going to be the center of Philippine culture, events, festivals, learning Filipino and all the. And I'm telling you that now because that was
The vision
speed
at
up.
the time.
We went to Tallahassee and presented it to the Arts Council of Florida. What do you need? We need $2 million to build the Philippine Center. They said, you just got your 10 acres last year. We said, yeah, but we can be ambitious. And so they pushed me, Joey, you be the one to talk to get approval. Because we were there for 3 days. So first there was somebody who stood up, and I was quiet. Then at the end, that's how the process was. So you have 15 Arts Council, Federal Arts Council of the state of Florida. They approve all the budget for the Miami Ballet and Star Center. They give money, whatever. Every year you have to attend the prison. And we were the babies there. So we presented. At the end of the day, you look at the chart. If it's below 75, you failed. But you can ask for an appointment again tomorrow. So the first day, we went like 74. Oh, that's bad. So I requested to be heard next day. So they said, Joey, you be the one.
What did you do
talk?"
in the second time? What did you tweak? Like, what was your thought process?
The second time I stood up, and of course, like I'm talking to you now. That's
Yeah.
how I convinced them. They're all smiling at me. I said, can you imagine the governor will be so happy that there's a first Philippine center in Florida? Are you crazy?
And it's not Tampa. This is like at the
Yeah,
at
we
the
said
time
Florida.
it's-
We never
think
used
of Florida,
Tampa. We
right,
said
yeah.
Florida.
Yeah.
And we said we promised to build a Philippine center if you help us. And that would be a center that you'll be proud of. Nobody in the United States ever built a Philippine center within the property owned by Filipinos. Nobody. And they look at that. They said, yeah, how about Chicago? I said, yeah, they have everything, but they don't own it. They rent or whatever. And I said, this will be the center. We have already a dance troupe. I promise you I'll have a bamboo orchestra. I promise you we'll have a choral group. We'll teach Filipino language to the community. And so that afternoon, 85% got approved $2 million. Joey, congratulations.
Wow.
You're talkative like that.
Well, what was the
We got
percentage you have
two-
to get approved? Is it 80 or what was the percentage you had to get?
Above 75
Oh, wow.
consideration.
Wow.
But when you hit 80, you are top 12. So we knew already. We were so jealous because Miami Ballet was getting like 10 million or something. That's the budget every year. So because at that time, it was great because whoever was our president at that time, there was a budget for all cultural events. And then different years, different presidents, they keep cutting it and cutting.
Right.
So anyway, that's it. We had that one. And so we were ambitious. And the state said, okay, we'll give you the 2 million, but the community, the Philippine community has to match it. The 2 million. They said, okay, so Attorney Roello, what do we do now? Where do we get the 2 million? So he stood up. He said, yes, we promise you by the end of 2 months, we will present to you all the pledges.
Whoa.
So I didn't know anything about pledges. I said, what do you mean pledges? We ask communities and families, they have to sign. They can pay in 6 months and so forth. As long as they sign, we present to the state, and then we got 2 million.
That's
So we worked.
crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
we said, oh, okay. We said, we promise in 3 months we will give you the list of our pledges. And Attorney Roello did all the work.
Yeah.
So everybody, including me. How much do you want to donate? The artist will say, it's all tax exempt.
Yes, yeah.
They can use it, all the doctors and all that.
Yep,
so
yep.
we spread the word and so forth, and we did it.
Wow.
So we presented it. So now we started construction of the center.
That's
So
great.
Joey, what
an
do we
amazing
call the
story.
center? So they said, first the Philippine Center of Florida or something, Filipino-American Center. No, I said, Bayanihan is nice. I'll get into trouble because the dance company in the Philippines is trademark registered. So I talked to them. I said, no, Bayanihan Arts and Event Center. So it's not the dance troupe. So anyway, the six presidents of the organization, I'm a board member. So they
crazy.
approve it. So Bayanihan Arts Center in
Wow.
2 years. In 2 years, Jed Bush cut the ribbon. We built the center in 2 years.
2 years.
Very fast.
That is fast.
1995,
Wow.
we cut. So 73, we got the budget. 1995, cut the ribbon.
Yeah.
Everything was fast. This time now, all the community, they saw we were serious. I changed my mind about the Filipinos. If you're in the right time, right place, the right people, the Filipinos, I always thought were stingy because it's in our blood.
Yeah.
We are very suspicious of what you're going to screw me and all. But this one was the opposite. What was happening was unbelievable.
Yeah.
People would call us and said, how can we donate? How can we do this?
Wow.
And I said, oh my God. And so I came in, my expertise in ideas of fundraising came in very well. And so I would suggest, and then they do the work. So I said, let's do this, let's do that. Like our Grand Ball, the Sampaguita Grand Ball, that was agreed right away by the founders. And then PhilFest, which we were already having at what do you call
Al
that?
Lopez Park.
Al Lopez, but we just said Philippine Festival. When we had the land, we said, Roello said, I'm registering it to the state so that all of USA cannot copy PhilFest, Philippine Festival. So people tried to copy it in LA and they got sued. They had to drop everything.
And PhilFest is every year, right? So
Yes.
in Tampa Bay at
Yes.
the Philippine
Huge.
Cultural Center,
Yep.
the Banahi,
It's always been the first weekend of April.
Wow.
We've
first
never
week of
changed
the
it.
end of the first
weekend of April.
work weekend of
So
April.
it's Friday. First, we had it only on Saturday. After, when we had the land already, after we had the land, we had PhilFest there. Wobbling stage, wooden stage, everything. In 2 years, we had the solid stage. Everything was going so fast.
What do they get at the PhilFest? What should people expect to see when they go to an event at
I repeat
PhilFest?
a comment made by an American, which I put in the press release. I told them, I just casually talked to an American guy with his wife. Why do you come to PhilFest every year? He said, PhilFest is like, I love the Philippines, he said, but once you step into that entrance arch, the gate, you are in the Philippines. You have culture, you have the talents of the Filipinos in singing, you have folk dances, you have processions, you have street parades, you have the Philippine food, You have everything, fashion show and all that. They said, it's like stepping into the Philippines without paying the $2,000 airline ticket
ticket.
and 21 hours flight.
Oh wow,
That was the best description he gave.
that's amazing.
He said, so it's right here in our backyard in Tampa. I said, well, I'll use your comment. And that is the best explanation what PhilFest has to offer. And at that time, our entrance was $5.
Right. And we encourage everyone in Tampa Bay. You want to get familiarized with the Philippine culture and come to this event. I believe it's open to everyone in the first weekend of April. Check it out. It's over there in the West Chase area of Eagles in Hillsborough.
Right. And next year,
9 Eagles in
PhilFest
Hillsborough.
will take place on April 4, 5, and 6.
April 4,
So
5,
on
6.
Fridays, we start at 5 until 11. On Saturdays, the longest day, we start at 10 until 11. And then Sunday, 10 o'clock until 6 p.m. We have everything. PhilFest is everything. You can even eat balut in PhilFest.
Oh, yeah.
Every year.
That's
There was somebody
huge.
selling balut like the Philippines are, going around with a basket balut. That's how it is in the Philippines.
That's so funny.
And then Americans were teased by their girlfriends or wives. They said, if you love me, you'll eat balut. The poor Americans. So we found out about it. We put them on stage.
Yeah.
So now you have like 6 Americans.
Trying
They
balut
peel
for
up
the
like
first
Fear
time.
factor.
Who
Fear
eats
factor.
it first and open their mouth with their tongue out is the winner. So we get, and every year it's been part of PhilFest. So
That's
poor
so
Americans
funny.
there said, he's not going to marry me if I don't eat balut. So we would say, balut is aphrodisiac. It helps you a lot.
That's so funny.
But that's how PhilFest is. It's just fun. The street parade, we ask any organization, and we expanded because now this time we had PhilFest, so I had to have a good program, that people will come every year. And so I started inviting dance group from Chicago, from LA, from Toronto, Canada, and all that. And when they come, they want to return to PhilFest because it's so much fun. And this time we have a beautiful stage,
Yeah.
and the food and everything. And we have hip hop, the Revolution Saturday night with all the universities competing. And I told them, you have to do a choreography with a twist of Philippine dance. So what came out, you don't have to be Filipino to join, but Miami University, where they look at the YouTube Philippine dances and they surprise us. I mean, really, that was another success.
Yeah.
And of course, the procession, we invite them, we said, send in your beautiful miss, you must have a miss in your, or Filipinos, they always have a missus or a miss. They said, are you sure we can join? Yeah, join the parade, the more the merrier. Now we have sometimes 36 to 40 parade ladies, all in their beautiful gowns. That was
amazing.
successful.
I'm thinking and this is, let's just say in the 90s at this point, right?
Yes.
This is before Facebook and social media.
No
What I'm hearing is that you were doing a lot of networking and you were bringing in your relationships with people in Chicago's and
Yes.
Canada's and different
Yes.
places. How did you have that connection? How did you build to know people in all these different states to invite them to the Tampa Bay?
From my days with Bayanihan, there's a lot of past members of the Bayanihan Dance Company spread out all over, including Canada. So that's where I would start with the dance group. And then, of course, I emceed in Houston. I did that. I would contact organization and tell them about PhilFest. And how I would approach it, said, why don't you come to PhilFest? And they said, Joey, what are we supposed to do? I said, we have Tawag ng Tanghalan, which means the competition of the best singers, Filipinos. So you must have a singer there. And I said, get a muse. I don't care whether 3 or 4 or 1. You can have little girls and all that and join the parade. So now their eyes are going, talking about organization, let's say in California. And then we have a fashion show. So you come and bring the most elegant ladies. We don't care if they're Miss or Mrs. We don't care. And then we have Yugyugan, which is the street parade. And you wearing costumes or uniform of your organization and join the parade, dancing and all that. They excite. So the idea was to excite them so they would come, not just as guests. And then we tell them, all we can afford is give you, if you're an out-of-towner, we give you a free entrance and free food for each day. So they can have tickets for the food.
That's awesome.
We got that as donors from the food vendors. They donated, so we didn't spend.
Right, that's great.
And that's how it went. So when they are there, and then we tell them, you have some teenagers, let them join Revolution. And these groups from different states won. So they won Tawag ng Tanghalan, they won the Revolution, everything. And everybody who joins the street parade, the foundation, the community, there's a lady by the name of Lucy Bautista. She's the queen of solicitation. So she goes around you, I need money for revolution. I need money for... And the people would say, oh, here, Lucy, $100. So she would say, oh, Joey, we have 7,000. Tita Lucy, it's up to you to budget who,
That's so
what
funny.
get. Yeah.
That's so funny.
So
Yeah.
now why would you not join if you're from out of town and you get $100 for just parading?
Yeah.
And then the miss is, you take pictures, We even provide the arts and we provide all the excitement. That was the secret to your question. How
that's
do
good.
you encourage them? By telling them to join all the fun, all the event, not just come as guests and perform. No, you do this, you do that. And then, if you have some of your board members, can we ask them to judge this and judge that? Oh, they like all that. So you see
Just
that.
be more involved,
Yeah,
right?
and they pay their own trip, they pay their hotel. And so,
Right.
yeah, I mean, Tallahassee comes every year. Melbourne comes every year. Toronto has been here twice already. Chicago has been here twice. Yeah. Unbelievable.
You've done an unbelievable job with your involvement there.
Right, but
in
again,
that.
I don't take credit for it because it was a nice chemistry.
Exactly.
Yeah, we were lucky to have Bob Roel who started this whole idea, which everybody thought was ridiculous. And then,
Really, the attorney from Chicago, right?
Right.
Yeah, thank you to him. And,
right.
and
Oh, yeah,
definitely.
that's why he's the first one in the honor wall. And then you have me who had all
Yes.
the crazy ideas for
Thank you to you
fundraising
for your
or
craziness.
just to excite the community,
Yeah.
everybody, and so forth. And then you had, of course, the engineers and designers and so forth, who then came up with, they said, okay, now we have to give glory to each organization. Now that was another unbelievable thing. How did we get the organization united? We told them, we own the land, but you build your own pavilion, but you don't own it. So the pavilion is like Makati.
Yes.
You lease it, but they don't pay for lease. You build your own, you raise your own fund, and that's your pavilion. But you have to be uniform. That came the architects, the Filipino architects, and they designed it.
Yeah.
So that's why you see all the
There's
pavilions.
several, so that's what the several pavilions at
Yes,
the Philippine
that's a
Cultural Center
regional
represents.
pavilion.
That
Wow.
different people
Regional.
have donated into the
Organizations?
region.
Yeah, and the last one is going to be built hopefully next year. They're aggressive now fundraising. It's from Mindanao and Musa, Mindanao and USA. So we have the Filipinos before the Spanish came. We were very, very regional. That's why there's a comment in the book of Magellan when they came. They said, in a small city of about 100 people, there are 4 barangays. Barangays means institution, a town. And now, they adapted it back to the Philippines. They barangay, meaning you have a small town. So that area of the south has to be a mayor. That area on this has a mayor, but not mayor is the title. It's the head of the barangay. But barangay means we were how do you call it? Regional.
Sure.
And so wherever we are,
Yeah.
Filipinos are regional.
Yeah.
So for example, Vietnam, but you come from a town somewhere.
Yes.
So you say, no, I'm not part of the whole Vietnam. My town is here.
Yes,
So
exactly.
we can't stop it. So why deny them? So we
Yeah.
tell them, okay, so you have regional. So everybody excited.
Yeah.
And they build. They fast.
Yeah.
And then more donations coming in. Our latest project now, we built one big pavilion right next to the Bahay Kubo, which was supposed to be for meetings, small little party.
Right.
So now our project is, we got 150,000 from the state.
That's
We're
amazing.
going to enclose it
Yeah.
and make it into a rehearsal hall, a little library, an exhibit hall
Yeah.
during PhilFest and so forth. So that's the latest project.
Yeah.
But to this day, I'm so proud of our accomplishment, but I'm more proud of the Filipinos of Tampa Bay. Now, I call it Filipinos of Florida because we get donations from all over. And when we ask them, our biggest fundraising ball is the ball we call Sampaguita, which is the name of our national flower. And we used to have $75. But I said, no, that's not good for fundraising. They said, Joey, what is your idea? I said, let's charge $100. Are you crazy? They said, that was 1993.
Wow.
Yeah. They said, nobody will attend. I said, it's okay. If 50 people attend, that's still $100 times 50. The same as when you drop it to 75.
Yeah.
So they said, okay, we'll approve Joey's idea. So we had the ball. And of course, all the elite with the money said, "Oh, nobody can afford that except us." So they all came, dressed spectacularly.
Wow.
So we got, I think, 300 people the first ball. After that, 3 years later, we had to refuse people. We had 500, was easy. We were doing it convention center. We had no center yet. And then Hilton in St. Pete. And then we had Hyatt and all that. Just packed. We had to say it was, the idea was strictly formal. Doesn't have to be Philippine attire, strictly formal. But encourage Philippine attire and Barong Tagalog. And open bar all night, open bar to the top premium drinks. Entertainment. So now we had the bamboo orchestra, the dancers, the singers combined into a 15-minute entertainment, which I directed and all that. And people came because every year they just, the show was spectacular. You know, I will have dancers or singers in there, and costumes here and everything. You just go crazy. So people
I
went,
mean, you've really been bringing entertainment
basic culture.
with the Philippine culture
Yeah.
to the Tampa Bay area, and I think that people should understand. Like, really, you've been here. I mean,
Right.
to think about it, Tampa really just gotten hot in the past 7 years. I feel like
Yeah.
so for you being here and hearing that you've been involved since the '90s and 2000s,
Right.
it's a really amazing thing.
Right.
When it comes to Tampa, what is it that you enjoy about Tampa? Well, you've been around the world, you've been around other cities in Florida and through the country. What is it that you enjoy about living in Tampa Bay?
Living in Tampa is very different from Miami and Orlando
Right.
and Jacksonville. And I remember the first time I was here when PCFI was being formed, I tried to investigate, and there was no Google yet and all that. So you had to read
Investigate for real.
newspapers.
Driving, yeah,
Yeah, you have
newspaper and
to
other-
Visit all the
call,
places.
who do I call? I'm going to call Department of Agriculture and just ask how many people Filipino. And I was shocked. That was what I would say that was the 90s. Yeah, and they said the most populated Filipinos is Jacksonville because of the Navy. This is how they describe it. Next by Miami because of the cruise industry. There was no cruise yet in Port Lauderdale, and Tampa was already had a cruise, but not that. And then third is Orlando because of the amusement park. Tampa was the last. I said, "Oh, how sad." Yeah, Tampa had only 15,000 families, Filipino families. This is not family. I said, that's why Tampa is very relaxed. Now it's the opposite.
Right.
Totally opposite.
Yeah.
Everybody's moving to
Because in the
Tampa.
90s,
Awkward.
Orlando was like,
Yes.
Miami was hot.
Yeah.
And Tampa was kind of overlooked a little bit, right? And
yeah,
then-
and people who move here, Joe, you will be surprised. I talked to them. "Oh, you lived in Orlando before. Why did you move to Tampa?" They said, "Because we didn't know. We bought this beautiful house in a subdivision. We didn't know there was no law. The people were buying real estate and rented it to tourists. So you will have tourists every day, and poor you who invested in your house, it went lower and lower because the tourists would ruin the whole thing, and there would one house would have 300 people living there because they go to Disney. That was the bad thing. I don't know. I think they stopped that already. Yeah. They did rules, but that was one reason. Then of course Miami. They said the crime when Haiti was coming in fast on Haiti, and now they have a problem again. They'll have more Haitians. But that was it. And Jacksonville was always Jacksonville. But now I think if I'm not mistaken, Tampa has surpassed all three.
yeah,
Wow.
I believe
That's
so.
the
Nobody here,
bottom.
because it's
That's amazing.
going back to your question, Joe. It's more relaxed, and it's easier to go around. We have small traffic, but not like the others. Oh my God. We have all the beaches. How can you complain?
Exactly.
Jacksonville has, but they can't compete with our Clearwater,
No.
St. Pete. No, 17 miles of white sand beach.
Exactly.
I don't even know why we have to go to Cancun.
Right, exactly. Go to Anna Maria Island or Clearwater.
Exactly.
That's so funny.
The when for someone like you, what is it? What are things that you like enjoy doing in Tampa? Just in a normal weekend or weekend, just to kind of relax and enjoy yourself. Is there any things you like to do in being in the Tampa Bay?
Well, number one, I mean, I'll be lying to myself if I don't answer your question. I like helping people. I like helping organization, and they know that.
Yes.
So last year, I shocked everyone when I said I have to step down. So I had my dance company, which probably is the fourth generation dance company. I might have 800 dancers already retired, and so all professionals now. and I'm part of their lives. Now they're young ones.
Yeah.
So I shocked them by appointing two of the older dancers to be the new choreographer. And I asked Philippine Cultural Foundation, I'm retiring, guys. You need my help, just call me. But the phone doesn't stop ringing.
Okay, I want my
Still
title back.
working.
Seriously.
Yeah, whenever I can do it, I
Yeah.
tell them yes.
Yeah.
So right now, the organization still invite me to MC, still invite me to be in their meeting, to give them ideas, fundraising. I'm still a help to the community, but I relax now because I developed COPD. So a little walk and all that now, especially teaching dances. You stand up, I can't breathe. So doctor said, Jose, you have to step down. I said, okay, yeah, I'm stepping down. So I'm taking it easy, but I'm still in the scenery.
Yeah.
Right.
So people call me. I still attend because I'm a founder. So I attend once a month meeting of the board of PCFI.
Yeah.
And I'm still good. I'm still a voting board member. Of course, I'm a founder. And the rest is there now. I have joined the mayor's Asian Advisory
Council.
Pacific Islander Council,
Yes, MAPIC.
like Anna, and the mayor thinks that I will be very good in the entertainment side. That's why I was appointed by our president Marvin Anderson to handle the entertainment of the festival.
And there's several events that you guys are involved with throughout the
Not
year.
at the moment
Yep.
for the Asian Pacific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
have one
It's only
coming
have the
in-
festival, but
In March.
right in March. Normally we've had it in May, but this time for the first time because for 2 years consecutively we were rained in and we had the storm one time.
Yes,
We had to
Mother's
pack up.
Day.
Imagine being on stage and said the city said pack up in 2 minutes or go under a building.
Oh my God.
There's a hurricane coming, and we all said, "Is it a joke?"
Yeah.
And then they said, "Run!" They announced like Hitler,
Oh
run!
my God.
Everybody run, and sure enough, in
Right.
15 minutes, lightning and rain.
Oh, wow.
The whole state, I don't know. I went to my car and went home. And I said, Jesus, what happened to all the other performers that were supposed to follow? Chinese dancers.
Yeah.
God, I don't know what. I was in my car and I waited until Mariven said, Joey, go home. Okay, thank you. Went
Oh
home.
my gosh.
So they said, we have to change it. And it was too hot. May is too hot.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that's the Asian Pacific Islander month, Heritage Month, declared in the United States.
Yeah.
So we just voted and we said, we have to choose a better weather, March
Where's that
22nd.
location at?
Curtis Hickson.
Curtis
Beautiful
Hickson.
park.
Yeah,
Very
downtown
nice.
Tampa.
Yep, that'll
Very
be
nice.
March 22nd from 12 noon to 7 p.m.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
Joey,
be
I had,
short.
I have one question for you.
Yeah.
Your story definitely inspired me today. I just want to let you know
thank you,
that.
Tyler.
And just in your lifetime and your success, like for all these young people out there, what would you say brought you to your success? What would you say to be successful in life in general? Like how you did it, Like what would you give advice for?
Yep, you're talking about the millennials and all that.
Yes.
Yes, I must say, for the millennials, I look forward to them, hoping, not sure, that they will continue what we're doing. But one thing that I am sure, involving themselves in community events and service like this will bring them to a higher level in their future, in their job, in their creation. Because wherever you go, when they get interviewed and all that, they always ask, what involvement do you have with the community? Are you like, and then if you say, well, I'm not involved with them, all I know is I'm Filipino or whatever, it doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
So like this, if this was an interview for job, they would be impressed already what I have been saying. It's my involvement. And there's also a saying, about a month ago, I went to, because I'm 75 years old now, old. But
You look
anyway,
good. You look great.
yeah, I was, thank you.
Yeah.
I was worried that I probably am forgetful and all that. And then I get this offer from USF. We are giving free examination for memory or Alzheimer or dementia. I said, I'll sign up. And I went there, but I passed. I said, nothing wrong with you. I said,
I'm not a good candidate.
sometimes I'm in face of the person. Hey, Joey, how are you?
Yeah.
God, I can't remember the name. They said, that's normal, old age. That's normal. You don't have dementia. You don't Alzheimer's. So I said, well, how can you differentiate if I didn't do that?
Yeah.
Dementia and Alzheimer's, you would say, give me your parents' birthday. Give me hour. They let me draw a what? Okay, draw 2 o'clock p.m. So I draw 11 o'clock p.m. like that. And then they gave me 5 names, 5 words. And then later they jumped to another one. Then they came back. They said, "What was the 5 word?" I can remember only one.
my gosh.
Said, "You don't have dementia. It's just forgetful." Because you know your birthday, you know the capital, you know the capital of America, and all that.
Are there?
Yeah.
You were speaking on associations, and are there any like some associations you're involved with that people, you know, what is the difference between the different kind of associations? Like, what does that represent?
Right.
for-
Right now, Joe, we have 21 organizations who signed up as members of the foundation. They sign up for one reason, most important, is they get the privileges. Like when they rent the center for their events, they get the membership discount. Secondly, they get, if they have a pavilion or not, they can be vendors at PhilFest. And they can, so they have that. And then, of course, they have their pavilion they can use it anytime they want. They get the privilege of having the code to the gate and have their meetings there or birthday parties. Saves them a lot of money, a lot. But anyway, the organizations now, you have the Philippine Medical, you have the Philippine Nurses, both St. Petersburg side, Gulf Coast, and Tampa. You have the dancers, the Philippine Performing Arts. You have the Philippine Core Group. You have the Bicol Association, now that's regional. Bicol is a province. Mindanao in USA, which is the biggest island of the Philippines, down south, where the Muslims are. And what else? We have the Tagalog. The Tagalog is Filipino-American Association, the oldest. They're going to be celebrating next year, February 1st, their golden anniversary, the oldest organization here. They were the ones who gave us the funding. Can you imagine? They had a property because they've been planning to build a hall. Mm-hmm. So when we had the PCFI, the president at that time said, "Let's sell the property and give it to PCFI." That's how they trusted us.
Wow.
But because of them, there was big money. That's how we bought the land. And then slowly we bought the land. And right now we're proud of the accomplishment that we had. And I give message to the teens and the millennials and the future that please, we worked so hard to accomplish this. If they don't get involved and they don't follow our footsteps, all the hardship we built will just go down the drain. And it's frightening thought that in the future, when you drive there and you will say to your kids, "Oh, that used to be a Philippine center. It's now." Yeah. And you know, the
that's
latest.
thing. We should keep our culture. You know, that's
Right.
something
The
like
culture is the secret.
exactly.
That's right. So me being exiting, and I won't be here forever, I've been trying to get as much of the millennials involved in the culture.
Yes.
So I do all kinds of contests and all that. That's why I was planning to do a podcast because they are so interested. What's the history of this dance, of that dance? I said,
So
I have to
many
take
stories.
opportunity to do that in a
Right.
podcast
connect
because they
them.
listen. And not only that, but then you're talking about almost 3,000 Philippine dance troupe all over USA. Can you imagine infiltrating them? That's why
Yeah.
whenever I find out who they are, I put them in a group. So I have things I'm beginning to dispose of
Right.
because I'm 75. So I said, all my collection, my
Yes.
culture collection, books about Philippine, I'm putting it on there. You want to buy this and you want to buy that, you know? You want to do this? So hoping that there will be, but that's an angle there. But
That's inspiring. That's inspiring.
But then
for
what
sure.
would be nice is like an interview of ideas of how to do good fundraising the right way. You see, that's another
think that'd be
angle.
huge.
That is-
Yes,
Can you
that would be
imagine
nice.
the interest and listening like that? And especially when you leave them hanging on the closing and you
So
tell
you guys
them,
stay
What
tuned for
happened?
that next podcast.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll be dropping those gems to share with you.
Right.
But
Coming soon.
exactly by
Yes.
saying, oh, next year, next podcast, we will have Joey will tell you how to do a successful ball or how to raise
Coming
funds.
soon,
Organizing
hey.
events.
Something like
I
that.
like
Look,
that. I like
Joey,
that.
you know, on behalf of Tyler Wynn and the Blue Gray Studios, Anna Lamb, Joe Flores, we really appreciate you, Joey Omila, for stopping by the Tampa Live podcast and sharing your life journey and experiences. And I think there's a lot of things for others to learn. I know we learned a lot, so we really appreciate you stopping by today on the show and really sharing your story with us.
Thank
So
you, Joe. It has
very
been a
much.
pleasure for me, Tyler. And
Thank you for coming.
appreciate, really. I hope you learned something.
A lot.
But yeah, we're proud of what we accomplished, and thank you for inviting me. That is the best part.
No,
and I really hope that your listeners and viewers will will tune in more because
Exactly.
there's a lot more to discuss.
This is what we do it for, to share the stories and educate everyone
Yeah.
else to
And
learn something
we
new.
can talk about my life with the Baron Krupp and
That's
how
a
you
good
met
one.
them.
I'd love to hear that.
Oh, and how I got my protocol training and so forth. That's interesting.
Lord Chamberlain
I
Joey is
know.
in the
Lord
house.
Joey.
When I go to the Philippines, they grab me for interview on the TV and all. And those are the questions. How did you get the job? Secondly, is so how did you eat dinner? What do you mean eat? I eat normal. No, how did you look at, I said, well, you have 7 spoons and forks here and 7 like that and 7 glasses. What do you do? So I tell them,
Talking
Quickly.
about food, what's your favorite Filipino dish? And where do you recommend to go?
sorry?
Filipino dish.
What are some of your favorite Filipino dishes, and where would you go to get
Filipino
them in
dishes.
Tampa Bay?
Well, it'll be a sin if I don't mention adobo. That's the famous.
Adobo,
It's
yes,
not
chicken
even
and rice,
Filipino.
yes.
Adobo is of course Spanish, but Arab. It's combination of Arab and
yeah.
Spanish. Yeah, adobo.
My household, I
know
grew
that.
up on adobo for sure.
Right. Yeah. But I don't know.
Is there a restaurant you recommend or like you like?
Food wise?
Oh, Filipino. What's
Filipino.
Filipino restaurant in Tampa?
I know there are some in St. Petersburg, but here in Tampa, Filipiniana, of course, is the best on Waters. It's
Waters
a
and
nice,
Dale Mabry, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, Dale Mabry and Waters.
Water-
Yeah. It's basically on Waters, next to the hotel.
Okay.
And then there's one that opened 2 years ago, right here by the port area, and it's called Manila Eats. It's also very, very Filipino. It's fun. They have a band there on Friday and Saturday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, live band. And during the day, during the weekday, they have a singer, a beautiful singer, while you're eating.
Wow.
But those are the only 2 that I know. What's sad is, Jollibee, the world famous
Jollibee.
is in St.
In
Petersburg.
Pinellas Park.
Yeah, but Pinellas Park. And next to it is Red Ribbon, where I buy
Oh,
all the
yes,
delicious
the
baked
bakeries.
Philippine food. They're closing. I learned yesterday.
Oh, no, they're
They're closing.
Why you
Red
gotta
Ribbon.
do that, Jollibee? Why you gotta do
Right. Jollibee's there, but I'm not going to travel to St. Pete to eat some spaghetti. But yeah.
Yeah. So
Thank you, Joe, and thank you very much. I hope I helped to your viewers.
definitely
100%.
did, and we look forward to bringing you back on in the future and sharing the experiences. Maybe we'll bring some of the crew on, right? From
From
some of the
Mavic.
groups.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll definitely do. But you guys stay tuned. You can go on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Tampa Live Podcast. So you guys stay in touch, and we appreciate all the support you guys have given. And see you next go around. All right. Thank you, Joey. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.